is in session today. They're there because of the scheduled Supreme Court Justice confirmation, not to end the impasse in deadlocked stimulus talks. Hope is fading. That help is on the way, especially on edge, America's bus companies. It's an industry that provides nearly 600 million passenger trips each year, nearly as many as the airlines. But without help, nearly half of these companies could close by the end of the year. Here's Natasha Chen.
Douglas Reese typically makes 250 trips a year driving buses for Georgia coach lines. But in 2020, he's only started up this engine 8 times.
You want to make sure everything's good and tight.
This fleet suddenly came to an abrupt stop in March, not moving again until July, when the company provided transportation during Congressman John Lewis's funeral.
I was very honored by it and was touching, and most of the time on that trip, I was right behind the hearse. So I'm looking through the windshield, staring in the back of the hearse, looking at the flag, covering up the casket.
Typically, buses from this private company based in Fayetteville, Georgia, help evacuate nursing homes from hurricane zones, drive school children on field trips, sports teams to their games, and the cast and crew of films and TV shows to set locations. Instead, about $5 million worth of vehicles now stay parked, not making money.
Doesn't feel good, and I know that if we don't soon get something, this may be a barbecue restaurant before it's over with.
Clarence Cox took over this business from his father and uncle, who started Georgia Coach Lines more than 30 years ago. Cox hopes to one day give this business to his daughters, but now the goal is just to survive through the end of the year.
It's ridiculous. It's, you know, I make jokes, but I make jokes because I'm so angry, I have to laugh to keep from crying. It's sad.
President Trump has gone full circle from ending talks to restarting talks.
Unlike the airlines or Amtrak, the motor coach industry hasn't received any funding from the $2.2 trillion CARES Act passed by Congress in the spring. But these private buses provide 600 million passenger trips a year, second only to commercial flights. That's according to the American Bus Association, which says 80,000 of the industry's employees have been furloughed.
I'm so sick of hearing Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi argue back and forth about the amount of money. You know, with Nancy, it's all or nothing. With Steve, it's like, well, this is what the president said. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, all of us are sitting here trying to figure out if we're going to eat next week.
Cox has spent more money lately to ensure thorough cleaning and safety precautions during the COVID-19 pandemic, hoping to do business safely when people are ready. In the meantime, private bus companies, along with school bus and passenger water vessel companies, are collectively asking Congress for $10 billion in loans and grants, $10 billion that won't even cover what's been lost in the private bus industry alone.
There's a whole lot of folks, just like Georgia Coach Lines around this country, that are calling on folks to do their jobs and cut out this fighting. Unite and get something done.
Natasha Chen, CNN, Fayetteville, Georgia.
Unbelievable, hard times. Meantime, in the airline industry, Delta added more than 400 people to its no-fly list for refusing to follow the airline's mask policy. Here's CNN's Pete Montine.
Delta Airlines now says 460 people are now no longer welcome on board its flights for refusing to wear a mask. That, according to a new memo from Delta CEO Ed Bastian to employees. The last time we got an update on this was about 2 months ago when Delta said it had banned 270 people. It's so interesting here. If you do the math on this averages out to about 2 people per day being banned from Delta flights since Delta's mask mandate went into effect on May 4th. Other airlines have similar requirements, but this is coming at a time when the CDC is saying in its strongest language yet that masks must be worn by travelers on every part of the trip. New studies show that the risk of contracting coronavirus on an airplane is actually pretty low because of the way the air is filtered through every few minutes, but the CDC says the risk is higher in indoor places like terminals, where people can get bunched up like in security lines and at check-in. Airlines are requiring masks starting at check-in, but they do not have any help from the federal government. The FAA and the Department of Transportation have instituted no new requirements for masks on board airplanes. Pete Montine, CNN, Washington.
All right, coming up, former President Barack Obama is expected to campaign for Joe Biden in North Miami next hour. We'll bring you his remarks live.